Alright guys, I'm just playing another game right now. I'm trying to set everything up. This is my first time using OBS, so just kind of bear with me. I'm trying to learn everything as I go on by myself. So if anybody got any questions or can help me out, just hit me up in the whisper. guys, we just gotta stop playing over here right now. That's why we're just more into the game, so we really can't
But if we are born the second time
do much right now. I'm over here
through trusting in
multitasking.
Jesus
I am
Christ,
playing this
we
game.
may have to die once physically, but we will never ever
I am
die
checking the messages in my
spiritually. In other words,
inbox.
if you are born again,
Yes, I'm giving out
you
praise
will
for the
never
game.
die spiritually. You will never ever
If
be
you do just,
separated from
if you
God.
are playing and send me a
John
screenshot,
11:25 puts it this
hit me
way:
on any of my socials
I
with it, and
am the resurrection
definitely
and
send you
the
something for
life.
the game.
He who believes in me, though he may die physically, you're in
What's
fear.
going on, guys?
And if you know
I'm
the
in
Word of
game.
God,
I
you will
can't go
not have to
anybody,
be
but
afraid.
I mean, I
And there
can't
are
like
several
chat
reasons
with
why
anybody.
you
So
won't have to be afraid of
got
death
people here.
that are presented clearly in the Word of God. And let me give them
Guys,
to
just
you
enjoy the game,
kind
download
of
the
one at a
game.
time,
It's a
and let's
sponsored
unpack them
game. What's
together.
up?
Number
Vision,
one,
what's going on?
you don't have to be afraid of death
Hey, what's
because
up? Hold on, I
the
got the kid over
prince
there,
of
guys.
death
Hold on, guys.
has been defeated. The prince author of the book of Hebrews declares that Jesus has
The game is a good game, guys. It's fun so far. It's mainly a puzzle game. I'm just starting to play it. I'm getting the hang of it. We're gonna probably review it on the website soon, so you guys can check it out.
I noticed every room that I walked into, there was an oxygen tank. In every room, there was an oxygen tank. In the bathroom,
This girl's crying now.
there were oxygen tanks all over.
Hold on, guys. I gotta go do something real quick. Just give me 5 minutes and keep the game. So hold on. Alright guys, I'm back, man, I'm back.
About a couple named Steve and Ann Campbell who live in Hampton, Tennessee. They
I'm
were sitting at
cooling
their
right
breakfast
now,
room
just
one morning. They
chilling.
had a little
What's
dog
going
named
on?
Gigi.
K-Ma.
I never heard of a dog like this. It was a Maltipoo, a Maltese and a poodle. And this
Clay
little dog was
is
asleep
one of
on the
my
bench in the bay window.
apps
And suddenly a jolt rocked
getting
through
together. I already got
and
streamers
toppled
that's,
Gigi
or
from the
you know,
bench.
gamers that's playing it right
And
now.
nothing was hurt but
They're
the little
testing
dog's
it out.
pride.
It was on my website for
And
a
the
while,
couple wondered
but
what caused all
took
the
it down because I
commotion.
filled up the spots.
They couldn't find any clue until they spotted a large hawk
Codes will be
outside,
posted soon.
flying beneath the
3
bay
more
window.
days,
The
guys.
bird
If
had
you are
swooped
listening, the
down with
website
its
will update
talons
with new
out
codes,
for
PlayStation,
Gigi,
and Xbox, so you
with
guys
no
can check it
regard
out.
for the protective pane of glass. And a few minutes later, the hawk shook off its stupor and vanished into the sky, minus its canine lunch. And that's exactly what happened at the cross. The devil wants to get his talons into us.
Yeah.
The power of the resurrection provides a pane of protection that cannot be broken. Satan may knock himself out trying, but he can't hurt us.
Got the balls.
Because Christ died, we have lives that are forgiven, and because he came out of the grave, we have lives that are forever. The prince of death has been defeated. Number 2, the power of death has been destroyed. 1 Corinthians 15 says it this way: O death, where is your sting? O Hades, where is your victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to God, who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. In the book of Revelation, we are told that death has no part of any future that belongs to any believer. In fact, the Bible says when we get to heaven, God will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, not even physical death. The prince of death has been defeated. The power of death has been destroyed. Here's the third one. The process of death has been described. Everywhere you go today, people want to know what's going to happen after a person dies, and all these wonderful books have been written by people who've come back from the grave. I don't know what to think about most of those. I'm sure you don't either.
It's a puzzle game.
I believe, some of them, I think, have been for good book sales.
It's a pretty okay
But I
game
don't have
so
to read
far.
some modern book to know what happens when you die, because the Bible tells me. And I want to tell you a little story here that will help you understand what I mean. Jesus told this story in the 16th chapter of the book of Luke. And it offers a penetrating view of what happens after death. In fact, it may tell us more about life after death than any passage in the scripture. Here's the story. It's a parable Jesus told concerning 2 men, one rich and one poor.
2002.
Now the poor man's name we know, it was Lazarus. And we don't know the rich man's name, but we do know something about his lifestyle, because Jesus tells us that this rich man wears the finest clothing, he eats the finest food, he has had the best, and he has let everyone know about it, even the beggars who lie at his gates trying to get some of the crumbs that he might drop to them. The poor man, Lazarus, who hopes to be thrown a few crumbs from the bountiful table, is not only hungry, but the scripture tells us, and this is pretty gross, that he's very ill, covered with sores, and the town dogs lick the sores on his body. He is one miserable creature living a miserable existence. Now watch. Lazarus does possess one thing that no one can take away from him, and that is his love for God. The rich man possesses one thing he can't keep: his life. Now, in the story, Jesus tells both men died, and on the other side of the gate that separates
I don't know
ready to
that
bear
I'm
you
doing, bro. I'm
away
just playing.
on life's ultimate journey. On that journey,
Okay,
Christians will
just like
experience none of the travel worries we face. You won't get lost. I'm very thankful for that one. You won't miss the bus. There's no waiting for the next plane.
I hope I get no phone
God
calls.
has a special angel assigned to
Cause I'm
bring
on
you
move
home.
right now, man.
And in the face of such
So
assurance,
anything will
why
mess up
should
my
you be
whole
afraid?
game, you know.
The prince of death has been defeated. The power of death has been destroyed. The process of death has been described. And finally, the picture of death has been developed. On December 7th, 1941, Peter Marshall, who was the chaplain of the United States Senate, was speaking to the cadets at Annapolis. And if you remember the date, it was a day of infamy because Pearl Harbor was happening, and it now lay in the flames of an enemy attack. The room was filled with young men who would soon give their lives sacrificially.
Screen
And he told them the story of a
PC.
dying
That's
child, a
simple.
little boy with a disease who was afraid of dying. And this little boy asked his mother, "What is it like to die? Does it hurt?" And the mother thought for a while, and then she said, "Honey, do you remember
Hey, y'all can all
when you
download
were
this game
smaller
to play it.
and you played
It's a
very
cool
hard
game.
and you fell asleep on your mommy's bed?
I'm
But
gonna
the next
be
morning you
streaming
awoke to
later.
find
Maybe
yourself
streaming
somehow
Madden.
in your own bed. Your daddy had come along and
If
with
not,
his
I'll
big
be
strong
streaming probably
arms had
Fortnite or
lifted you,
something.
undressed you, put you in your
What
pajamas
if I have a
as you
little free
slept.
time later?
And then she said, "Honey, that's what death is like. It's like waking up in your own room." Like this little boy, most of us are curious.
I'm still trying to learn more about this game as I go.
A hopeful future.
So,
For Christians,
you better
problems
make
are
me
always
looking at stuff.
temporary and blessings are always eternal, as opposed to non-Christians whose blessings are always temporal and whose problems are always eternal. Valleys
Yeah, it's my
don't go
website.
on
Y'all can check it
forever,
out.
and the road ahead is always bright for the child of God, as bright as his promises. Death isn't a place that you go to, it's a place you go through to the other side. That's why Paul said, absent from the
And
body,
yes, I am giving out Google Play codes if you guys want it.
indicating
So, hey, come get them
that
while
the
you
two
can.
conditions are one and the same. One man has observed that death is an exit gate and heaven is an entrance.
I should
But
level
the
up my
two
other
are
guy too.
arranged so closely that one opens as the other shuts. One person says that a dying man is lying at the gates of death. And another says, no, he's lying at the gate of heaven. And they're both right. Because death is simply a passage through to life forever with God. Most of the time, if we were accurate, we would say we're not afraid of death, we're just afraid of
Gotta put that
dying.
back here, bro. I can't put
Because
that
we're
next to the
afraid of
farm.
what it's like, what the process is. But dying for a believer is not anything for us to fear. First of all, the angels come and get us, and it's only a temporary moment that we walk through to the the other side. Number two, here's my favorite thing in this whole message. Death is a shadow, not a reality.
Okay, I can't move.
The Bible says it this way, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. When I was growing up, my father was a pastor of a church in Toledo, Ohio. And the church was growing, and they didn't have enough room, and so they didn't have any place where they could go and get a bigger church, and they didn't have enough money to start over, and so they found an old mansion that was for sale out on the edge of town. It was in pretty good shape, and they went and they bought this mansion, which included a number of buildings, but a rather large building, and then the church built sort of an auditorium on the end of it, and it became the Emmanuel Baptist Church of Toledo, Ohio. I was a young boy then, maybe about 6 or 7 or 8. And the manse, or the parsonage as they used to call it, was on the second floor of a 10-car garage behind the big mansion itself. We lived up on the second floor. Underneath was this garage, this humongous 10-car garage. And my job as a young boy, one of my chores was I had to take out the garbage every night. Well, there was only one little light in that garage, a little light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and it was as dark as it could be. And it was one scary, spooky place. I had to go down the stairs, carrying the garbage, and get from the front of the garage all the way to the back and put the garbage out.
Not that bad.
And I believe to this day that I set some world records of speed going through the garage from one end to the other, because it was really frightening to me. The light cast the shadows in spooky ways, and they kind of would move. I still remember it. You can tell this made quite an impression on me. But you see, the next day I would get up and I'd go down there and play sometimes, and there was nothing to be afraid of. There was nothing there. It was just a shadow.
I will do just
Listen
like that.
Darnold Gray Barnhouse, one of the great teachers of another generation, was driving home from the funeral of his first wife, and he had his children with him, and they were overwhelmed with grief. As he sought some way to comfort his children, as they were standing at the corner, a huge moving van passed them, and its shadow swept over where they were standing. Dr. Barnhouse said, "Children,
hey, thanks for downloading, favor. I
would you
appreciate
rather
it.
be run over by a truck
Not a
or
bad
by
game.
its
Check it out.
shadow?" And of course they said, "The shadow, it's harmless." He said, "Let me tell you something, kids. 2,000 years ago, the truck ran over Jesus Christ in order that only the shadow would have to run over us." Isn't that a great thought? The truck ran over Jesus Christ. He suffered the death so that only the shadow has to run over us. The Bible says death is a shadow, not a reality. No longer is it true
Yeah, you can
that
get
we
them,
have to
bro.
be afraid. For Jesus said, and I quote
I'm
it
only
again, "I am the
again,
resurrection and the life. He who
Say
believes
what's
in
up.
me, though
I'm
he may
responding like
die,
the same
he shall
whispers
live.
too.
And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die." Third, from Psalm 23:4, death is a journey, not a destination. It's a shadow, not a reality. Death is lonely, but you are never, never alone. And let me tell you something that's real. Can I say this is really cool in this psalm? This is a little grammatical thing I want to share with you. Listen to me.
So I guess
This
you
is
can
how
free
this
roam in here.
psalm is laid out. In the first part of the psalm, the shepherd psalmist is talking about the shepherd. He's describing it. Here's how he talks. He says, "He leads me. He restores me. He makes me to lie down in green pastures." And then all
They
of a
must know
sudden,
what
you
they
get to
doing.
the fourth verse, and very abruptly, the third person becomes the second person. And David says, "You are with me." He moves from he to you. He quits talking about the shepherd and begins talking to
Hey
him.
guys, also if you download this game, let me know. Like I said, send me a screenshot.
It's as if
Give you some
he's been talking
something to get
about
some
God.
in-game content, or
And
if you
then
want to
in
get
the
something
midst
for
of the
your
shadows, he realizes
other
that
games,
God
PlayStation,
is right
Xbox, let me
there,
know.
and he begins
And
to
that
talk
guy to help
directly
you.
to him. An essay makes
this
beautiful
guy,
sense if you've ever walked through the valley with anyone. You think about God, and suddenly you find yourself caught up in a conversation with him. His presence suddenly changes your whole line of thought. Over the years, I've spoken to many, many people who were traveling their darkest road, and they've often told me that they were never more aware of the presence of God than when walking through that shadow. We don't have to be afraid, because we might feel lonely, but we are not alone. I've counseled with many people as they have sat in death's waiting room. And experience has proven to me that God makes his presence known as they walk through the valley. He reaches for their hand. He whispers words of comfort into their ears. And it's not limited to just the dying, but it's also for those who are grieving over the dying.
iTunes, what's going on, bro? Shout out for the follow. iTunes 24,
as well. And the Bible is so filled with comfort
Depends what
for
code you
those
want,
who might be
PlayStation,
experiencing
Xbox,
grief. Psalm
Google Play,
46,
let me
1
know.
through 2 says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble, therefore we will not fear. Hebrews 13:5 says, he himself has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. We must realize that when we experience death, either ourselves or with others that we love, we never walk that road alone. There's a wonderful story that I want to share with you as we close today that puts everything that I've said kind of in the context where I want it to be when we're finished. The story took place back in 1800. A man by the name of John Todd saw the significance and hope of death. Todd was a Vermont boy who lost both his parents at the age of 6. He lost his brothers and sisters too, because they were divided among relatives. And John was taken in by a kindly aunt, and there he lived for 15 years until he left to study for the ministry. The years passed, and he ended up becoming a very effective pastor. One day, he received a letter from the aunt who had raised him.
I'm all in
She
this
was
game,
dying.
bro.
Knowing that he was a pastor, she had the questions that all of us ask. She said, what
Somebody
is
just missing me
awaiting
when
me
watching
in
church.
death?
No.
Is this the end?
Let's skip it.
John could feel her anxiety in every line that she wrote.
Persons after the war, the archive's scope expanded to preserve records from concentration and extermination camps, ghettos and Gestapo prisons, among others. This extensive database has been instrumental in research and restitution efforts, helping to establish facts, verify victims' fates, and reunite families torn apart by the war. The Bad Arolsen archives were not fully accessible to the public until 2007 due to privacy concerns. Since then, they have become a vital resource for historians, researchers, and relatives of victims, offering a glimpse into the scale and systematic nature of Nazi atrocities. The archive's digitization project, launched in 2016, has allowed these records to reach a global audience. Through initiatives like Every Name Counts, the Bad Arolsen archives continue to involve the public in commemorating the victims. Today, the Bad Arolsen archives serve as a potent reminder of the Holocaust's horrors and the vital importance of historical truth in combating denial and distortion. As the number of Holocaust survivors dwindles, the archive ensures that their stories and those of millions of victims continue to resonate, bearing testimony to one of history's darkest periods. Number 7, the Nazi Gold Train. One of World War II's enduring legends is the tale of the Nazi Gold Train. As the story goes, in 1945, as Allied forces advanced, a German train laden with gold, jewels, and priceless artifacts was dispatched from Wrocław, Poland. This armored, heavily guarded train supposedly disappeared into a network of tunnels under the Owl Mountains, part of the mysterious Project Risa, a massive construction project started by the Nazis. Interest in the gold train intensified in 2015 when 2 treasure hunters claimed to have located it in a hidden tunnel using ground-penetrating radar. However, subsequent investigations by Polish authorities found no evidence supporting these claims, further fueling the debate surrounding the train's existence. Skeptics argue that the gold train is nothing more than a myth, an amalgamation of post-war rumors and hearsay. Supporters, however, maintain that there is enough circumstantial evidence, including eyewitness accounts and Nazi documentation, to suggest that the train might be real. The legend of the Nazi gold train serves not only as a captivating treasure story, but also as a reminder of the looting carried out by the Nazis throughout Europe. Whether or not the train exists, the ongoing fascination with the tale underscores the enduring impact of World War II on our collective imagination, offering a tantalizing mystery interwoven with historical intrigue. Number 8. Dead Sea Scrolls. While not directly related to the conflict, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls during World War II has significantly shaped our...
Do not buy solar panels if you live in one of these 11 states of America. It's the worst decision you could make for your home. Did you know that in certain states of America, the U.S. government will now buy panels for you and make them available for no cost in case you go solar in the next couple of weeks? It's not a joke. And in these states, 11 of them to be precise, Americans will be able to get a complete solar system from our government at absolutely no cost. And that way, go solar without any investment whatsoever. Sounds pretty crazy. But here's what that's all about. You see, with the goal to encourage as many Americans as possible to go solar, and that way contribute to a cleaner and happier planet, our government recently released a new special solar stimulus program, something they've secretly been working on for the past couple of months, and they're now literally providing everyone who applies with complete, brand new solar systems for no cost, including the latest generation of solar panels and a Tesla Powerwall, as well as paying a few $1,000s to anyone who accepts that offer and goes solar through this special program in the next couple of weeks. So in case you thought about going solar, and you do live in America, do not even think about buying the panels yourself, because through this program, the U.S. government will literally buy them for you. The only catch is you need to live in one of the 11 states they selected. And the truth is nobody knows why they made the program available for only 11 states in total. But those who happen to live in some of those 11 states are without a doubt in huge luck, because they will literally get to go solar and start saving thousands of dollars on their electric bills without spending a single dollar in the first place. Isn't that crazy? So, if you want to test your own luck and see if you live in one of these 11 states our government selected for the program, then go ahead and scan this QR code on the screen. So, if finally achieving complete energy freedom and saving fortunes on your electric bill by getting a complete solar system for no cost from our government sounds appealing to you, then make no mistake about it and scan this QR code to qualify for this special solar stimulus program today while it's still open. The seats are limited, so there's no time to waste. Scan this QR code to see how much you can save today.
Yeah, I cleared
Have
it.
you been scammed for real money by your mobile game? Can't win no matter how good you are? Not sure who you're playing against? That's because you might not be playing real
Let me play
people
some
like
Madden
they
with you.
advertise. You're playing against bots. When the bot wins, the game keeps your money. That's cheating. You're the victim. Don't let them get away with your hard-earned money. It's time to fight back. Join other players who have filed a complaint. You might be entitled to compensation. File a complaint today. It only takes a few seconds. Go to
Oh snap, I might have to go check that out.
Act now.
Understanding of ancient history and religion. Found accidentally by Bedouin shepherds in 1947 near the Dead Sea's shores, these scrolls contain the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible's books, along with other Jewish texts and documents detailing life in the Second Temple period. The war's turmoil initially impeded research and understanding of these ancient treasures. It wasn't until the 1950s that a dedicated team of scholars could thoroughly study the scrolls, revealing their significance. The texts have provided invaluable insights into Judaism and early Christianity, influencing scholarly thought on biblical accuracy, religious beliefs, and the context of Jesus' life. The scrolls were found in 11 caves, with the last discovery made in 1956. In recent years, technological advancements have allowed for new methods of exploration and preservation, leading to additional findings in the region. Today, most of the Dead Sea Scrolls are housed in the Israel Antiquities Authority's collections and the Shrine of the Book, part of the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. Some remain in the hands of private collectors. Despite ongoing debates over the scrolls' origins and interpretations, their discovery remains one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century, forever linked with the tumultuous World War II era. Number 9. Wreckage of the USS Indianapolis. The sinking of the USS Indianapolis during the final stages of World War II remains one of the U.S. Navy's most tragic incidents. After delivering components of the Little Boy atomic bomb to Tinian Island, the ship was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine in the Philippine Sea on July 30th, 1945.
Damn, bro.
Of the nearly 1,200 crewmen, only 316 survived, with many perishing due to exposure, dehydration, and shark attacks. The wreckage of the USS Indianapolis remained undiscovered for over 70 years. Its location as elusive as it was tragic. It wasn't until 2017, aided by technological advancements and the efforts of a civilian research team led by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, that the wreckage was located more than 18,000 feet below the ocean's surface. The discovery of the USS Indianapolis brought a sense of closure for the survivors and the victims' families, serving as a stark reminder of the ship's ill-fated journey and the sacrifices made by those on board. Detailed surveys and examinations of the wreckage have since offered vital insights into the ship's final moments and have allowed for a proper commemoration of its place in history. The wreck site is now considered a war grave, with ongoing efforts made to protect and preserve it. As one of the most iconic shipwrecks from World War II, the USS Indianapolis continues to captivate historians, marine archaeologists, and the general public alike. Its tragic story forever imprinted in the annals of naval history. Number 10. Sinking of the Bismarck. The Bismarck, a colossal battleship built by Nazi Germany, represents one of World War II's most significant naval chapters. With its state-of-the-art design, formidable firepower, and heavy armor, the Bismarck posed a considerable threat to Allied shipping routes, making its destruction a prime objective. The ship's sinking began with the infamous Battle of the Denmark Strait in May 1941, where the Bismarck and cruiser Prince Eugen engaged the British ships HMS Hood and HMS Prince of Wales. In this encounter, the Bismarck sunk the Hood, marking one of the war's most devastating naval losses for the British. Following this victory, the Bismarck attempted to evade the pursuing British fleet, heading for the safety of occupied France. However, a fortunate torpedo strike from a swordfish biplane launched from the aircraft carrier HMS Ark Royal jammed the Bismarck's rudder, making it impossible to steer effectively. This left the ship vulnerable to the converging British fleet. On May 27th, British battleships King George V and Rodney, along with cruisers Norfolk and Dorsetshire, caught up with the Bismarck and commenced a relentless assault. By mid-morning, the Bismarck was sinking, with reports suggesting it was scuttled by its own crew to prevent capture. The Bismarck's wreckage was located in 1989 by underwater archaeologist Robert Ballard, resting at a depth of nearly 15,700 feet. The ship's remains are a sobering reminder of World War II's naval warfare scale and intensity. Number 11, the Maus tank. The Panzer E8, better known as the Maus, holds a notorious spot in World War II history. Designed by Ferdinand Porsche and ordered by Adolf Hitler, the Maus is renowned as the heaviest fully enclosed armored fighting vehicle ever built. Weighing in at a staggering 188 tons, the Maus was intended to punch through enemy lines while remaining impervious to attack. Its massive size housed four weight also presented significant practical issues, including poor speed, high fuel consumption, and an inability to cross most bridges. One of the Maus prototypes was captured by the Red Army during the final stages of the war. having been partially destroyed by its German crew to prevent its capture. This prototype was restored using parts from the other prototype and is now displayed in the Kubinka Tank Museum near Moscow, Russia. The Mouse tank stands as a testament to the extremities of wartime engineering and the megalomania that often accompanies such endeavors. Despite its failure to influence the war, the Mouse continues to captivate military.
Hey, check this out. You can download this app called Albert and get up to $250 instantly. Watch it at your account.
I'm gonna try this one more time, guys. See if it don't shut down. If it does, I'll be playing it later, and I'm gonna play something else. Okay, I think we in the game, guys. Let's see. Okay, let's go.
Enthusiasts and historians, representing a unique chapter in the annals of armored warfare. Number 12, SS Geiersoppa, Silver Treasure. The story of the SS Geiersoppa and its precious cargo stands as one of the most extraordinary treasure finds connected to World War II. The British steam merchant ship, laden with a massive hoard of silver bullion, was sunk by a German U-boat in 1941. The Geiersoppa's wreck sat undisturbed on the Atlantic Ocean floor for over 7 decades before its treasure was finally brought back to the surface. The Geiersoppa was initially deployed for the British India Steam Navigation Company, but was enlisted in the service of the UK Ministry of War Transport during World War II. In December 1940, it embarked from Calcutta, India, with a significant load of tea, iron, and silver. The silver, totaling around 7 million ounces, was a mix of privately owned bullion and government-owned ingots intended to boost the UK's war coffers. In February 1941, while attempting to reach Galway, Ireland, the Geiersoppa, low on fuel and battered by rough seas, became separated from its convoy. A German submarine, U-101, spotted the isolated Geiersoppa and torpedoed it, causing the ship to sink swiftly. Of the 85 people on board, only one survived the ordeal, making it back to land after 13 days in a lifeboat. The salvage operation, carried out between 2012 and 2013, recovered over 99% of the recorded silver cargo, more than 110 tons, making it the largest precious metal recovery from a shipwreck ever. The incredible depth and challenging conditions of the wreck site necessitated the use of sophisticated remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and other cutting-edge deep-sea technologies. Today, the story of the SS Geiersoppa and its silver treasure serves as a compelling tale of historical discovery, highlighting how modern technology can unveil secrets hidden beneath the ocean's depths for decades. The successful salvage operation not only recovered a considerable sum of precious metal, but also brought to light a remarkable chapter of maritime history intertwined with the broader narrative of World War II. As we continue to explore the oceans, it is fascinating to ponder what other remnants of our shared past await discovery in the murky depths below. Number 13. The U-boat wrecks. In the annals of World War II, few chapters are as haunting as the story of the German U-boats. These formidable vessels played a critical role in the Battle of the Atlantic, sinking countless Allied ships and threatening crucial supply lines. Despite their initial success, the tide turned against the U-boats as the Allies improved their anti-submarine tactics and technology. By the end of the war, many U-boats had been sunk, scuttled, or abandoned. Their wrecks a chilling
Hold on, Lonnie, I'm almost done.
Force's grim fate. The exploration of U-boat wrecks reached a new level with the discovery of the U-869 off the coast of New Jersey in 1991. Initially misidentified as the U-85, The wreck's true identity was not confirmed until
So peace,
1997.
positive vibes, guys.
The
Make sure you guys get these good
U-869's
games
fate
that I'm
was
playing.
initially
You
unclear,
guys need them
as it was
PlayStation
far
Xbox,
from
but
its
make sure you
supposed
hit me up.
operational area. Extensive research and dangerous dives
Might be
eventually
playing a little
revealed
bit,
that it had been sunk by its own
I
torpedo,
might go play
a
Madden,
tragic
man.
end that underlines the
See
peril
what's up with the
U-boat crews
community. See what's
faced.
going on.
The U-576, found near the wreck of the merchant ship Bluefields, it had sunk in a convoy attack, offers another insight into the brutal convoy battles that characterized the Atlantic War. Both wrecks, discovered in 2014, sit virtually undisturbed, offering a time capsule-like look at a conflict frozen
Oh, he
in
killed my
time.
dude, man.
The
Shit.
underwater graves of these U-boats serve as solemn reminders of the war's toll. Their steel hulls now home to marine life.
Killed my dude.
For historians and divers, they represent a unique opportunity to explore a crucial aspect of World War II history. The U-boat wrecks remind us of the human lives caught up in the machinery of war, a poignant echo from a conflict that reshaped the world. As we continue to explore these wrecks, we deepen our understanding of the past and preserve it for future generations. Number 14, the Roswell Incident. While not a conventional find related to World War II, the Roswell incident in 1947 has its roots in the conflict and has been the subject of intense fascination, debate, and conspiracy theories for decades. This event has helped shape modern perceptions of extraterrestrial phenomena, giving rise to a cultural phenomenon that extends beyond the realms of history and into the domain of popular culture. The incident began when a local rancher, W.W. Puzzels, discovered unusual debris scattered across his New Mexico property in July 1947. The debris, described as metallic sticks, tin foil, tape, and sturdy video, didn't resemble anything Brazel was familiar with. After Brazel reported his find to the local sheriff, the military at Roswell Army Airfield was alerted, who promptly secured the debris. Today, the Roswell incident is a centerpiece of American UFO lore. Roswell, New Mexico embraces its unique place in history with a UFO museum, annual UFO festival, and various alien-themed businesses, attracting tourists from around the globe. While the Roswell incident occurred after World War II, its connections to the conflict through Project Mogul and the atmosphere of the early Cold War era make it a noteworthy part of W2's broader narrative. It remains an intriguing episode of...
You're lucky. Watching live sports never used to be this easy. Running up and down that field looks tough. It's pitch.
Get way more into what you're into when you stream on the Xfinity 10G network.
Kill this dude, man. Slice that man up. Try to clear this last level so I can level up to level 4. Probably by the time I come back and stream this game again, I'll be level 12. But I will be streaming this game soon. And when you guys do pull up, I'll be giving away PlayStation and Xbox pull right on my next stream on this game right here. On topic of Google Play, so make sure you guys check it out, download it, hit me up on Twitter.
History, where fact, fiction, and speculation intertwine to form a captivating tale of mystery and the unknown. As we delve into the Roswell incident and the countless debates surrounding it, we encounter a fascinating facet of post-Waitu society and its lasting impact on popular culture. Number 15, the SS Richard Montgomery munitions ship. One of the more harrowing and continuing reminders of World War II lies just beneath the surface of the Thames estuary near Sheerness, England. The wreck of the SS Richard Montgomery, a U.S. Liberty ship laden with explosives, presents an ongoing threat and a stark remembrance of the war's unfinished business. Built in 1943 as part of the American wartime shipbuilding effort, the SS Richard Montgomery was employed to ferry supplies to Allied forces. In August 1944, it was loaded with approximately 7,000 tons of munitions at Hog Island, Philadelphia, for transport to Cherbourg, France. Its cargo included high explosives, detonators, bombs of various sizes, and rounds of small arms ammunition. The SS Richard Montgomery arrived in the Thames estuary in late August 1944. Anchoring in an area intended for vessels needing to wait for more favorable conditions or offloading points, the Montgomery settled into the muddy seabed due to low tide and an excessive load. Despite efforts to free the vessel, it ultimately snapped in two and sank, taking its dangerous cargo down with it. The SS Richard Montgomery symbolizes the long-lasting impacts of World War II, its presence a potent reminder of the war's destructive potential. The ongoing concern about the wreck's dangerous cargo and the potential disaster it could cause highlights the challenges posed by war relics and the measures necessary to manage them. The SS Richard Montgomery serves as a fascinating and cautionary tale, emphasizing the lingering dangers and historical remnants of a global conflict that ended more than 7 decades ago. Welcome to the most notorious stretch of ocean on Earth. It's been called the Devil's Triangle, or Hurricane Alley, but most of us know it as the Bermuda Triangle. 500,000 square miles of the Atlantic that has terrified and perplexed travelers, explorers, and even scientists for centuries. Since the time of Christopher Columbus, these waters have been home to many unusual and unexplainable disasters and disappearances. Ships, planes, and unsuspecting travelers lost without a trace. But where have they gone? And why did they vanish? Tonight, we aim to find out. In spite of the danger, we'll enter the Bermuda Triangle by sea and by air. We'll search the depths for evidence of the triangle's alleged destructive power. And finally, we'll reveal a shocking new theory, one that could completely redraw the map. It's a mystery that could impact our entire planet. As we go in search of the Bermuda Triangle.
You're never responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card.
Valvoline Extended Protection offers 24 times stronger protection than the industry-leading synthetic.
Have a look at this map of the southern Atlantic coast of the United States. Now, I want you to try something. Draw 3 straight lines between Miami, Bermuda, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seems harmless enough, right? But what if I told you that this area, which is about the size of Alaska, has been the site of over 50 ship disappearances in just the past century? It's also been the site of at least 1,000 fatalities during that stretch. Even those who've managed to survive have reported many strange anomalies here. The triangle's countless tragic deaths remain unsolved mysteries because experts today still can't agree on the cause. Is it possible that a strange and deadly power truly lies within these 3 boundaries? There's only one way to find out. We have to enter the triangle ourselves. Philippe Max Rouja is the custodian of historic wrecks for the island of Bermuda. And he thinks he's found one of the key causes of all of this area's destruction.
It's hard to believe on a day as calm as this that this is one of the most treacherous places on Earth.
He manages the sites of over 300 shipwrecks around the island.
Shipwreck here, shipwreck there, shipwreck there.
According to Philippe, this area has been causing problems for sailors since the very first ships passed nearby.
Bermuda was put on charts, not as a country that anyone wanted to move to or migrate to, but literally as a place of warning to mariners. This is a place you want to be very careful about, a place you want to stay away from. And it's that particular navigational hazard which I think tees up the whole
Like
mystery
what?
and the mythos of the Bermuda Triangle.
It's also the reason people live on Bermuda in the first place.
Last one,
Bermuda's a
guys.
nation
Let me
founded
click
on
bang this
shipwrecks.
out,
The
and
first
after this, I
settlers
gotta
here
head out,
arrived
man.
by
So
shipwreck
make
in
sure you guys go
1609.
check out the
Our
game. I'm
national
gonna put it
flag
in the
has a
chat.
shipwreck
You know what's
smashed up
going
against
on,
the
bro.
rocks on the flag. So, you know, it's the real deep importance and connection we have to it.
If anyone understands the destructive power of the Bermuda Triangle, it's Philippe.
Yes, I do.
Who's been studying these
Hey, make
wrecks
sure y'all
for
go
over
download the
15
game. Make
years.
sure you guys go get to level 5.
Today,
Try to
he's
get higher
tracking a
than me.
relatively
You
new
guys will
theory,
get some gifts from me.
a unique
Make sure you guys
underwater
screenshot it, show
phenomenon
me,
that
send
may
me
have been
something so I
sinking
know.
ships here for centuries.
This is actually really exciting thing to
FAMILYTIES
run into
always does
today.
it, baby. Let's
We've
go.
actually come across a large
Give me the last one to
swath
finish it
of
up before I head
sargassum,
out.
which is a holopelagic algae that grows in the open ocean. In historical narratives, there's actually stories of ships finding themselves stuck in these large mats and becalmed for days and weeks at a time.
Sailors began sharing stories of an impenetrable region of the Atlantic where many ships were lost. They called it the Sargasso Sea. Here, thick sargassum mats can stretch for miles beneath the water, making this one of the most dangerous parts of the Bermuda Triangle.
There are written accounts of ships getting stuck inside huge beds way, way bigger than this. Just imagine this thing covers a square kilometer or two, much thicker and denser, and how hard that would be to navigate your way out of it.
And getting stuck isn't the only problem caused by the sargassum. Once a ship gets trapped inside, something even more dangerous can occur.
As it groups together, it starts to rot, and the smell that comes off it is actually really toxic. There's a whole storyline that feeds into this. In the last 5 years, they've had a massive influx of a similar kind of algae in the southern Caribbean. Unbelievable growth spurts of sargassum. It's appearing in such absolute massive quantities that it's including entire bays, poisoning beaches because the gas that comes off it when it rots is actually quite noxious. Suddenly you can imagine the ships would literally come to a stop in the algae, and the mat that's so thick and heavy that they'd be stuck there for days, left without movement and unable to push their way through. If those odors would get out to a ship, it could actually drive guys mad.
Alright, hey guys.
Is it
Appreciate y'all
possible
for joining.
that
Hey,
this
make sure y'all
strange
go
growth
download
of
the
plant
game,
life
man. I
has
gotta
been
head out of
poisoning
here.
mariners and
This
sinking
game is shutting
vessels
down again. That's
for
a sign
hundreds of
right there,
years?
bro. That's the one thing that's kind of iffy about it.
There is strong
Hopefully
evidence
it's fun, but
nearby.
other than that, it's a good game.